Hi guys, remember me? Sorry I've been away for so long. I've been feeling a little poorly, but I'm better now. So here we go with another lesson. What I'd like to do this time is kind of a refresher course on the basics, because I notice when I go over people's, there have been 4 things that I correct with a lot of you. So I'm not singling out anybody, but many people have been doing these things that could be done better. So let's go ahead and start with our main stem. Again, about twice the length of the container, give or take. And cut at an angle. This is hardwood. And then a little snip in the middle so it fits in the pin frog. And then put it toward the back of the pin frog. And what the first thing that I noticed a lot of people do, oh man, this is hardwood, is they will put the main stem almost sticking straight up. I'll get out of the way here. So this is like almost just straight up from the bowl. So we need to go ahead and slant it more. So, oh boy, I picked very, very hard wood here, but here goes. Okay, so see, this is now at a little bit of an angle, and we're still doing what's called an upright arrangement, but that doesn't mean it's just straight up and down. So there's our first stem, and I'm going to trim it a little on the fly because we've got some overlapping branches, and we want to see some of the line of the main branch here. But I'll do it a little bit quickly so we can get to work. So see, you've got a few little clear spaces here as well as the flowery part. Okay, so here's the first branch, and here's the second. And this is another thing I've noticed with several people, is a lot of you are having your second stem be a little too short in relation to the first stem. So make it about 2/3 the length of the first stem. And again, make sure your flowers face up in a curve or straight instead of facing down. So make it a little bit shorter, but again, about 2/3 the length of the first stem, possibly even a little longer. Okay. And again, put the stem in near the first stem so it looks like they're growing out of the same trunk. And then angle this again so nothing is going just straight up the middle here. Okay, and I'll trim a little bit off to get some breathing room. Okay, and then the third stem should be about 2/3 the length of the second stem. And this material is still a little bit fluffy. You might want to do a little bit more trimming once you get going, but again, I don't want to take up too much time with that. So the third stem could go here or here. I often like to put it near the first stem. So here it goes. And yeah, that is a little too bushy here, so we'll trim a bit. Okay, so first, second, third, facing forward a bit. This could face forward a little more. And then we will do 3 flowers. And a second point I've noticed, so the first point was don't have anything straight up the middle. Second point I've noticed is, and again I give people slack because we're just getting flowers where we can, but some people have used kind of dainty flowers as the main flowers, and they get lost a little bit. So try to get some hefty, hardy looking flowers for the main flowers. And sunflowers are a little hard to work with, so I don't know if you should try this at home, but they sure are pretty, and they are available this time of year. So another point is, so the second point is use bold flowers if you've got them. And the third point is try not to have anything facing directly at the viewer, in front. Here I've got a steady this thing. Come here, buddy. So it's really hard with some flowers, including this one, to not have it looking right at you, but try and just get a little bit of angle up. So that's just more pleasing to the eye. And it's okay if you have some material in front of your flowers. Again, it makes it look more natural, like you're seeing something in the woods. So here's our first flower. And for flowers, cut the stem underwater. And the second flower, again, just facing a little bit to the side, not straight at the viewer. Easier said than done. And then notice also I've used the largest flower for the focal point flower. And then the third flower, which we're using now, can be shorter than this one and a little longer than this one, or it could also be shorter than both, but I'm having it a little bit longer since it's such a showy flower. And a little bit in back. So, okay, so another thing I've noticed almost everybody does occasionally is when you put the filler in, I'm often able to see kind of a gap right here in the middle and almost see, or sometimes see, the pin frog. So be really careful with your filler that you get a fair amount down below and in the middle, and covering up the pin frog. Too long. And I hope everybody's able to find some good flowers this time of year, even those of you in the frozen north. And everybody's been good about having some depth here. You could also use some of the main type of flower for depth. That way it looks more 3D. So, a little more filler in front to cover up the pin frog. And maybe a little more of this in the back. Okay, that is the gist of it. So I might have to fluff it up a little when I see it from the front, but again, to review, long stem off to the side, second stem a little longer than many of you are making it, and flowers, try not to make them face the viewer, and try to cover up the pin frog. Put this up a little. Okay, thank you.